Baseline gonna make man shatter. Baseline gonna make man shatter.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to Esports Masters League. We are here tonight for season number 7. It is Console Tier 1. It is round 4 of the championship as we take in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix from the Jeddah Corniche circuit. My name is James Head. Delighted to be taking to the stream, of course, as always, on this fine Wednesday evening. Hope you are all doing very well indeed. I did say evening there, by the way, as well. But hope you're all doing well. First of all, why am I coming on about 4 minutes before the stream? Which is why you might be thinking. And it's because today is a very hollow day, I've got to be honest, within the world's political landscape and everything like that. 23 years ago to the day, 9/11 unfortunately happened and cost the lives of over 2,500 Americans. Different nationalities, different ages, men, women, children, aunties, uncles, grandpas, mothers, fathers, all lost by absolute horrible, horrible acts of violence and terrorism towards the American people. And we are going to remember them here tonight by starting off this stream and paying tribute to every single one of them that lost their lives on 9/11. I remember fondly where I was. I was only a little kid, and I was sitting, I think, around my nana's, if I'm not mistaken, and seeing all of this unfold on British television. And it is one of those that just transcended and literally changed the world for how it was. And the people that we lost at 9/11 and those that we lose after, always, always going to be a huge shame and always going to be a huge loss. And I hope every single one of them has got the respect that they deserve today from everything that has been going on in America, these memorial ceremonies, things like that. We understand that we are racing in Saudi Arabia. I didn't obviously think of that when I was coming up with a calendar, but it is good to pay tribute to those who we sadly lost in 9/11, and hopefully they are looking down on the world right now, and hopefully that the world is going to be a better place without. But back to matters in hand for tonight. Let's have a look at the top 10 from last week for the Italian Grand Prix, and it was an absolute cream cracker between the ET8 duo. It was an Italian front row. In fact, it was Sergio that took the win from Matteo. Probably unexpected, to be honest. Sergio taking the win over Matteo. Matteo did all of the donkey work on the final lap of the race. Sergio overtook him in the final corner to get the race to the line by 0.2 of a second. Tom Roberts finishing in third for Team Chazoo, with Ian Van Unen in fourth for TTM. Aroca and Namsco, EXT, their first top 10s of the season there, both the French outfit, fifth and sixth. Then Ryan in seventh, Andrea in eighth, MI Killer NL in ninth for CPI, and Cameron Dowds did get his 10th place after we found out, obviously, within the review, that Cameron Dowds did leave the session after he crossed the line, so therefore he gets P10 as a result of that. What does that mean, though, for the championship standings, I hear you ask? Well, here are the championship standings, literally done down to the T. ET8 Esports lead the way on 148 points. Team Chazoo in second on 96. The tale of the season so far has been ET8 picking up 5 podiums, Chazoo picking up 3. There will be a graphic after round 5 to prove that, I'm sure. But those are the front two teams at the front end of the standings right now. NLR Esports in third on 84.5. Then Future Racing Team in fourth on 56. Also tied with CPI Esports in fifth on 56. Then Grand Track 10. Hope that's a little bit French for their liking. 50 points rounded off in P6. Then Team Extoria, who jump up from last position all the way up to 7th on 42 points after their result last week. Bunker Racing Team in 8th on 39.5. Then 39 for Top Tier Motorsport, and then Avisio Racing in 10th on 26 points. We've currently got 19 drivers within the lobby. We are just waiting on one more driver to join. I am sure that person will join now. And I'm also going to invite my co-coms in, just in case he does need an invite into the lobby. Mr. Ivor Bryn Mike, who is currently doing Console Tier 2 comms right now. He has got an invite off me, just in case he does want to join a little bit later on. But let's have a look, though, at the driver lineup coming into tonight. GT10 have got an all-French pairing of Hugo and Boy Ludo. And then for Team Extoria, it is EXT Duncan on his EML debut alongside Namsco, who of course raced last week. Chazoo, probably one of the stronger teams, I've got to be honest here tonight. Oscar and Danny Van Ruiten there in for Team Chazoo. Then CPI Fraser and CPI Jordan there for CPI. Of course, CPI Jordan finished P12 last week in Italy. Avisio Racing have got I've got Taicho even and Matthias there for EVE, the Dutch and the Norwegian pairing. Ryan and Spicer, normal lineup for NLR Esports, I'll be honest there for the team. One of the stronger lineups, I think, here tonight as well. Alex Marciano, former NLR driver, now of course a part of ET8. He's alongside ET8 Paul, the German. A full British pairing for Future Racing Team with Dan and Sam. An all-British pairing there for BRT with Finn Bob and Zach Oxtes, and they are both coming back from last week, and they're, let's just say, very unlucky race that BRT had last week, getting contacted left, right, and centre, to be honest, coming through the chicanes from Flopman especially. And TTM, speaking of which, they've got Wiener and Mustache in as well. Wiener, of course, a former PSGL PSF1 driver, and Mustache, of course, looking to try and provide a very good result. He is currently trying to top the standings in PSGL PSF2 coming into tonight as well. Drivers are now loading into the lobby. We're going to have, though, a look at the track map in question. We'll just cycle through. We've got 27 corners, though, out on track here around the fish-shaped track of the Jeddah Corniche circuit. 6.1 kilometres in length, 3.8 miles, 27 turns. Away now with drivers out on track. It is going to be one hell of a leather ride, I am sure, coming into tonight's racing. Hopefully everyone behaves themselves, and hopefully we don't see VSCs down in towards turn number 1 and on lap 1. That is for sure, because I will be absolutely outing anybody that crashes under a virtual safety car on lap 1 if that does happen. But we are loading now into the lobby. Hope you are all doing well on this fine fettling Wednesday evening, and I hope you are all really doing well on this fine Wednesday evening as well. We have got plenty to warm the cockles of the heart, especially because it's very cold here in the UK right now. But we are going to go live onto the on-track action very soon indeed. Should be dry, I would imagine, for qualifying. Never had a wet race around here, bar F123, my final commentary, which, funny enough, I think was EML, if I'm not mistaken. And that was a full wet race, pretty much right at the end of the season. So let's hope that doesn't happen once again. But we're now just going to get loaded everything up in terms of the track map, in terms of everything else. That is all fine. And Dandy, I'm also... you will see a movement on the right-hand side of your screen. I'm going to move the logo right down to the bottom, and that is now looking a little bit more sleeker rather than being right up at the top and blocking there what compound ties everyone is on. Judging by how everyone's rushing out the pit lane, we're going to get the first one down on track very soon indeed. NLR Ryan wants a little bit of airtime on his lap after setting a 0.5 in time trial a little bit earlier on. NLR Ryan, no surprise that he has set that time, to be honest. We're looking to try and set a very respectful lap here on his lap to try and set him up for his full lap and flying lap, which is to come very soon indeed. But Ryan is the first man out on track, and he will be the first man to set up on a lap time right now, unless he doesn't want the airtime and doesn't want the track all for himself. NLL Ryan will definitely be one of the first out on track, though, to try and set a lap time. Alex Marciano, ET8 Paul, both ET8 drivers are still in the pit lane, which is very interesting. Maybe looking to try and get maybe a little bit more on track in terms of the space out on track, because it's a very tight track. You can see everyone coming through turn 13 now, actually on the track map on the bottom right-hand corner, and this is really bad in terms of the track limit. So hopefully drivers do behave themselves, and hopefully everything will go according to plan as well. Looking in the chat as well, Volokongan saying, come on, supporting the Norwegian there as well, and also Wundex there supporting GT10, or Grand Track 10, as I'm now going to call them with my French little accent that I've got going on here in the commentary box tonight. Ryan, though, the German, is on the run down in towards turn number 1. I sprechen die Deutsch, as Ryan now comes down in towards turn 1. And then into the right-hander now of turn number 2. And then into the left-hander now of turn number 3. Coming toward the first part of the track where it really gets tricky. Turn number 4, we saw plenty of drivers hitting the wall in PSGL PSF1. Barak was included in that as well. Now coming through this flying end of the first sector, through the right-hander turn 8, through turn 9, through turn 10, through turn 11. Mick Schumacher caused crashing there in 2021. Right through the first sector, 31.777. And he's all the 7th. He's 7th gear, coming down into 4th now. Left-hander of turn number 13. Passing now the Red Sea on the right-hand side. And also the Altamaya Moss on the left-hand side as well, as Ryan now comes through this middle sector split. Ryan the curve very aggressively there, coming through turn 14 and 15. Really neatly done though, right now, running down the straight in towards turns 21 and 22, and Ryan is setting the lap times very much quick in this middle sector. 1 minute flat in the middle sector is very quick indeed, and Ryan just runs a little bit understeery, coming through that part of the track. Now in towards turns 26 and 27, this is looking like a very decent lap time from the NLR man right now. We've also got other lap times being set by the rest of the field. But Ryan now in toward the right-hander now, the left-hander even at turn 27, on the run to the line, nearly clipping Max Verstappen-esque track limits there from NLR Ryan on the run to the line, 27.1, which is near enough pole time in PSGL, in Console Tier 2 earlier on. Ryan sets the benchmark for everyone else out on track. Taicho through the middle sector is a 1 minute point 2. He's one of the next to come across the line, I believe. Also backing out in the pit lane, Danny Van Ruiten, Fraser and Jordan all backing out into the pit lane. Now running down in towards turn number 1 with Taicho. He goes 4th in the end, 27.4. Ryan, though, out on top, 27.1. Oscar second, 27.2, and then Spies a third, 27.3. As it stands, ET8 Paul, though, looking rather quick. Minute flat in the middle sector, quicker than Ryan in that middle. Namskill there going second with Team Extoria, and now Mustache just blows everybody out of the water. 26.9 by the Frenchman, Allez le Bleu. So far for Mustache, they're out on top. As now Paul looks to try and get it back on track with the Germans here for ET8 on the run toward the line, and he goes second in the end. Quicker than Wiener, quicker than Ryan. Good lap time there from Paul, but Mustache there leading the way. Paul in second, Wiener there in third. 26.997 to start off the session is absolutely unreal. That is even quicker than what we had in console tier 2. Absolutely brilliant in terms of that lap time. Mustache though out on top, Paul there in second, Wheeler there in third, as Alex Marciano is getting blocked there slightly, coming through the middle sector. He is on a run, I believe. The XNLR man, now part of ET8, the Italian now coming in towards turns 22 and 3. Does the middle sector split match? No, minute point 6. In the middle sector, he'll be going around about Boyalulo Duncan, that sort of area I would think in terms of this lap time. See if he can find anything special in this final sector split. The NLR man now, the NLR man, the ET8 man even, into the final corner. Now in towards turn 27. Mustache, Paul Wiener currently in the top 3. Alex Marciano, I don't think is going to be troubling the top end of the field. In fact, he bails into the pit lane. So Alex Marciano definitely not happy with that. He's back into the pit lane. The Mustache out on top, Paul there in second, Wiener there in third, and actually 200th of a second separating Mustache and Paul out on track, and then 3,000th of a second separating Wiener and Ryan for third and fourth position in the early stages of this. We have got outlaps being set. I believe it is going to be one of the FRT man coming through. In fact, it's not. Who is on an outlap, please? Who's furthest on an outlap? CPI Jordan is. CPI Jordan in a not looking CPI livery, I'll be honest there. Now in towards turn number 27. We'll see what the CPR man, the Swede, can do. Now running through the left-hander. Now on the run to the line. And that is everyone bailing off into the pit lane. Oxide looks like he's left the session. Hopefully we can get him back in very soon. But Jordan now down in towards turn 1. Missing the apex there slightly through turn 1. We'll turn the timing tower off on the left-hand side. Oh, I've just turned everything off. There we are. Turn the timing tower off on the left-hand side. Jordan now through turn 4. Not looking too bad. A little bit oversteam coming through turn 4 that is going to actually try and find. Mustache, by the way, has said stop quali in Discord. TTM will not have that pleasure, unfortunately. Jordan gets a little bit of frame rate drop there with also just joining the session. 32 flat from Jordan. It's not quick, I've got to be honest, through that first sector. He's about 4/10ths down on what you should be setting on your first lap times. There's Troy there actually in the chat saying, James cooked the comms on that Ryan lap. I did. Jordan now will try and cook more with that Jordan even now on this lap in towards the left-hander now turn 22 and 23. Is he going to get a Swedish meatballs but my IKEA by the end of this lap? Who knows from the CPI man. Middle sector 1 at 0.3. So quicker than Alex Marciano in that middle sector. Remember Alex's lap time would have been around about Boyalulo, Taicho, Duncan, that sort of area. Jordan now looking to try maybe go with 27.3, 27.4 in and around that mix, I think, for the Swede as he now comes in toward the final corner. The CPR man, he finished 12th last week, of course, in Monza. Now on the run to the line comes the CPR man. Does he go around about where I expect him to go? He does. 27.349. Call me Mystic James. Danny Van Routen there coming in behind 6. Not routing the field at the minute. The Dutchman there in P6. He's behind Namsko actually on the same lap time as he invalidates through turn number 1. Finn Bob as well is on the run to the line for BRT. Looking quick in the middle sector. The Brit comes to the line, goes third. Good lap time there by Finn Bob. Mustache though out on top. From Paul in second, Finn Bob there in third at this moment in time. Wiener and then Ryan filling out the top 5 positions. Speaking of which, Ryan is just starting up on another lap time. I'm going to try and see if there's anybody further on right now on a lap time than him. CPI Fraser is. In fact, actually, CPI Fraser isn't because he set across the line 27.4 and he's 6/10ths down in the first sector. Let's see. Duncan is up in the first sector. 2/10ths up. Purple briefly there in the first sector from the Extoy man. This now comes in towards turn 13. The Team Extoy, of course, back on their brilliance, I've got to say, from Monza. 5th and 6th position, of course, in the results last week. For Team Extoy moving up to 7th in the standings. Be looking to try and continue with the form here tonight. Namskill certainly doing well in 6th position right now, and Duncan there in at 7th. So looking pretty decent indeed. Duncan in the middle sector, looking still decent. A 10.5 in the middle sector. And now we'll find all of this time, surely, in this final sector split. Now coming in towards turn number 27 at the final corner. We'll see what this lap time is going to be. Nordic Ninja in the chat saying supporting Mustache's ego retirement. Behave, guys. Oh, it's Duncan. Clips the wall on the right-hand side. Absolutely snaps the car sideways. Duncan now on the run to line. 27.4. Yeah, 27.4 that was from Duncan. Ryan, though, 26.7. Does he have a life? Ryan out on top, Mustache there in second, Paul there in third. Mustache was up on his lap time. He was a tenth and a half up, but he's actually hit the wall. Left side plate damage on the car. Oxes there has crashed through the first sector as well. Just trying to see if there's anybody around him coming through this first sector split. And there, in fact, is Alex Marciano. So we'll see on board with Oxes, hopefully, as the car now gets removed from the wall. Coming out through turn number 4, that's where he hit the skid, going in towards turn number 4, locked up, hit the wall on the inside line. Knox says there out of the session. Disappointing there for BRT. Not disappointing though to have Finn Bob there in 5th position. Ryan though out on top. Mustache there in 2nd, Paul there in 3rd. I did say that within the space of about 30 seconds, to be fair. Mustache though on the run to the line doesn't actually set a lap time, as Oscar there for 2nd wants to try and get some sort of award out on track, if you pardon the pun. Oscar there in 2nd, no longer in 2nd, because Namskill there in 2nd, and now Paul goes 3rd. Paul now going ahead of Oscar. So Oscar there down in 4th. Not looking too bad in terms of lap time so far. Ryan though out on top, Namskill in 2nd, Paul there in 3rd. If you do want to get more action, by the way, Console Tier 2 is nearing toward the end of their race, I believe. So if you do want to tune in for that, you can do. You can have me on a dual monitor screen. Everything and all that jazz. Oberyn Mike is doing the commentary there. They're on lap 22. If you do want to catch that, then probably tune in now and then catch the end of qualifying here. That's what I would recommend you would do, certainly. I know PSGL PCF1's on. Who cares about them? Ryan out on top. Namskill there in 2nd. Paul there in 3rd. Oscar there in 4th. As looking in the chat, Paul, maybe a 0.6. I think it'll be a very low 0.7. Ryan did set a 0.5 in time trial, which A, just adds to the theory of him having no life, and B, Ryan is just too quick around this track for everyone else. But Ryan at the minute, out on top, Namskill 2nd, Paul there in 3rd. That's how it currently stands in terms of the standings currently out on track. In terms of the standings coming into tonight, there is the standings coming into tonight, and that's ET8 out on top on 148 points. Team Chazoo in 2nd on 96, 84.5 points for NLR in 3rd. Future Racing Team in 4th on 56, CPI on 56 there in 5th. Grand Track 10 in 6th on 50, then Team Extoyer in 7th on 42, Bunga Racing Team 8th on 39.5, Top Tier Motorsport on 39, and then Avisio Racing in 10th on 26 points. Don't worry, you haven't missed any of the action. Namskill's coming through the final couple of corners. We have got other lap times being set right now, or about to be set. Just trying to see if there's anybody on a run right now. Looks like both the CPI drivers are on runs. And Jordan is coming through the first sector very shortly indeed. The first sector split is coming up in a couple of corners. Going through turn 10, 11, 12, in towards turn 13. And Jordan is up 0.2 of a second up in the first sector. CPI clearly going for something different here in qualifying, which might just be bucking the trend and might just actually force them to the field a little bit. So I'm going to take a little bit of a drink. As Boyalula has now become the next victim of turn number 4 as well. So that is him done out on track as well. Crashing through turns 4 and 5. That's exactly where Oxes crashed in qualifying. And Jordan nearly crashed there. My God. Towards turns 22 and 23. Jesus. Goodness me. Very close to the wall. Charles Leclerc-esque nearly there from Jordan, as his teammate is a 10.5 up in the middle sector. Fraser will be looking not to be like the Channel 4 show, or the American famous show, like Fraser, now coming in towards turn 27. Oh, he's going to do me for that one. Fraser now on the run towards the line. Should be around about a 27.2. Ooh, 27 flat from Fraser. Nice lap there from the CPI man. He does go into 6th position. Ryan out on top, Namskill 2nd, Paul there in 3rd. Anybody else on lap time? Danny Van Routen's on a lap time. The Chazoo man now in toward the line. Oh, and he's into the pits. Absolutely typical. Danny Van Routen into the pit lane. And that is him down in 11th position right now. And Matthias, though, for EVE. First time beginning of EVE here tonight with Matthias. Now coming through turn 27. Now on the run to line comes the EVE man, the Norwegian, on the run toward the line. 6th ahead of Fraser. Good lap time actually by Matthias. It is beginning to open up a little bit now for qualifying. Ryan, Namskill, Paul, the top 3. Ryan, speaking of which, you just saw him come across the line there onto his lap. He's now coming through turn 4 and 5. And we'll see what the German can do on this lap time. Line through turn number 9! 9. from Ryan. Goodness me, he was up by 4 thousandths off that. Are you kidding me? It's just a shame he's invalid, but 999 Ryan. Goodness me, Namskull there in second, Paul there in third. He is definitely not going to like that one, that is for sure. GC10 Hugo is not on a lap time right now, and neither are pretty much the rest of the field. FLT Sam is down on a lap time. Taicho not starting up on a lap. I think everyone right now is either on at laps or just on down laps right now. Just trying to see if there is anybody on a lap. I don't think there is. Ryan out on top though. Namsco in second, Paul there in third. Spicer has crashed. Not sure where he did crash because I think I was too busy taking the P out of Ryan potentially for about the 5th time tonight. But Ryan out on top, Namsco second, Paul there in third. At the minute, Matthias is out qualifying. He is out qualifying CPI Fraser. I believe Matthias was formerly CPI, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Troy there in the chat. But EVE now are securing the services, and he's ahead of Fraser there in 7th position, so we'll definitely be looking to try getting another lap time on the board. Has Ryan got enough time though to get back out of the pit lane with 2 minutes and 26 seconds to go? Who knows? He crashed in the 3rd sector, left-hander, 22 and 23 that might have been, that fast left-hander coming through the final part of the middle sector into the final sector there. So Spicer definitely getting caught out by the track, as has quite a few of our drivers so far tonight. We've lost Boy Lilo and indeed Oxes from crashes at turn 4 and 5, respectively as well. JR Taicho is on the run down in towards turn number 1. Former JR man, of course, former Juventus Racing. I believe he actually raced around here in EML in the past as well in Jeddah. And now comes in towards turn number 4 with beautiful blue and white livery, Man City livery, to be honest there, from the Dutchman. Now in toward the left-hander turn 6, 7. Through the right-hander now turn number 8. Through the left-hander turn number 9, and he runs wide. And Daicho invalidates through the 1st sector. Would have been a 31.7, but he actually took, about half the track. Jordan, however, though, is on a lap time for the CPI team, for the Swede. Now coming in toward the left-hander turn 15. And we'll see what his lap time is going to be out on track as well. Try to say it was his former mascot. Not so much good. Not so much good of a mascot if he's joined another team, has he? Jordan, though, was 2.5 tenths up in the middle sector. I'm being really unfair to some drivers, like, honestly. Don't know what's wrong with me. Jordan in towards turn 26. Now in towards turn 27 he will come. We'll see what Jordan will set in terms of his lap time. Ryan out on top, Namskull second, Paul in third. We'll focus on the front runners very soon indeed. Jordan crouched the wall through the left-hander of the final corner. Want to have a lot of EOS, more than that, on the run toward the line in the right. Jordan there in the angles 12. So not a bad lap time, not a great lap time there either. Paul is coming through the 1st sector split, and I think it was a 10th up through that 1st sector split. Mustache, however, man to watch out for, former leader of the pack here in qualifying, now in a lap coming through in toward the twisting, snaky section of this middle sector, flat out in towards turns 22 and 3. And the middle sector split is down, 1300 down, but he is so much more committed. Coming through that part of the lap now, in towards turn 24, now through 25. Red Sea blazing the trail on the right-hand side for Mustache, and the Frenchman now tries to conjure up any support that he's got from the French crowd there out in the chat and also here in Jeddah. Now through turn 27, the TTM man comes. Does he do enough to maybe try and knock Ryan off the top spot? Mustache on the run to the line. Well, 3rd in the end. Good lap time though. Oscar on the run to the line goes 2nd. Good lap time from him. Namskull just done up. I think he's actually lost a wing plate if I'm not mistaken. Ryan there is down in the 1st sector as Paul now goes quickest for ET8. And ET8 now back out on top with Paul. Ryan there in 2nd. Oscar 3rd. Namskull in 4th. Namskull down in that 1st sector. Just try and see actually if he clipped his right side end plate. He hasn't. Oh, and he has there though. Clips the right-hand side end plate again, does Namskull. But what is the Frenchman going to do? Are we going to see a bit of a turn-up for the Bucks? Can Team Extoria get pole position here with Namskull? 59.8 in the middle sector. Lightning quick from the Frenchman. Now coming in towards turn 24. Now in towards the final couple of corners. In this absolute dire straight last part of this qualifying session. Paul out on top, Ryan now in 2nd. What is Ryan doing though on a lap time right now? He's a 10th up, and in fact he's actually just behind Namskull on a lap time as well. Namskull a little bit sideways coming out the final corner on the run to line. Does the Frenchman topple him? No, he doesn't. Can Ryan topple him? Yes, he can. The German goes quickest. Is Matthias doing anything? No, and sixth. He's now on the run to the line. The team of Visio, can he now run to go pole position? No, he can't. He's down in a lap time. Oh, my voice was going right at the end there. Goodness me. But it's Ryan out on top, who nicks it from ETA Paul. It's a German 1-2 as well. And Ryan gets it by 600ths of a second, a 26.702 there for qualifying. Paul there in second, Oscar in third, Namsko in fourth, Mustache there in fifth. Then it's Matthias, Danny Van Routen, only separated by 100th of a second there. Fraser, Spicer, Wiener top 10, Duncan, Finn Bob, Sam, Jordan, Alex Marciano top 15. Then it's Dan, Taicho, Boyaludo, Hugo, GT10 down in 18th and 19th. And Zach Oxes there down in P20, right at the bottom end of the barrel, right at the bottom end of the field. But right out on top, Paul there in second. Did mention NLR could be within the strongest lineups here tonight. They've definitely bought them. Ryan there out on top in qualifying. We will be back with you, though, in just a few short moments' time. We're going to go intermission, and we'll be back with you in a couple of minutes.
Baseline gonna make man shut up. Baseline gonna make man shatter.
Welcome back, everyone, by the way, to Esports Masters League. It is round number 4 of the championship here in Jeddah, and it's... I did say to the drivers, wait, but they're not, which is why we're now going live onto the track very soon indeed. But a reminder of the results coming into tonight. ETL Esports leading the way on 148, Team Shazoo in second on 96, NLR in third on 84.5, the Future Racing Team in fourth on 56, CPI in 5th on 56, Grand Track 10 on 50, Team Extoya in 7th on 42, Bunga Racing Team in 8th on 39.5, then Top Team Motorsport on 39, and Avisio Racing in 10th on 26 points. Let us then get to the track very shortly. Indeed, in terms of the action, we will, of course, be out on track very soon indeed. But a reminder of what happened then transpired in that qualifying session. Ryan took it at the death. The German defeating his own countryman in ET8 Paul there in second. Oscar third, Namsko fourth, Mustache rounding off the top 5 there in qualifying. Really, really strong racing. Really, really strong qualifying, even really strong race, I am sure, absolutely to come. We will be joined by Mr. Michael Edwards very, very soon indeed when he does get back from his drinks break after commentating console tier 2. He'll be joining me alongside in the commentary box for this one. I'll make sure that desktop audio is actually showing, so he actually does come through on my end as well. But Ryan, Paul, to do battle off the front row of the grid, Oscar and Namsko alongside him. It's going to be a real tricky down run in towards turn number 1. Looking through the chat, Nordic Ninja apparently is going to win this race. Hard luck, he's not racing, even though he did take a race win on, I think it was Monday, if I'm not mistaken. Mr. Nordic Ninja being the race time winner out on track in the NLR race that I think he did a little bit earlier on. So Nordic Ninja does have at least one claim to fame rather than being a moderator on this channel as well. But we're going to get going very soon indeed. The drivers are going to be out on track very shortly indeed. Get your predictions in for who you think is going to win this race here in EML Console Tier 1, who you think is going to be on the podium, and who you think actually might be the underdog in this race as well. I'm immediately looking through the field and thinking Spicer, TTM Wiener, Finn Bob even, I think, could be a bit of an underdog coming into tonight as well. Danny Van Routen from 7th position. Watch out for him in a race trim because he is so quick compared to qualifying. Danny Van Routen might be the one to watch out for from further down the field from my perspective as well. But we will be going to track very, very shortly indeed. Hope you are all doing very well on this fine Wednesday evening as well. Please let me know if you are not, because I will try and cheer you up with the 27 laps that we've got, the 25 laps even that we've got here in Jeddah. It is going to be one wild and wacky ride. I can absolutely guarantee you that in terms of console tier 1 as well. Looking through the Discord as well, plenty of people complaining that they've had 600 hours of free time. I wish I had 600 hours of free time, I'll be brutally honest, because I don't get a word of edgeways sometimes with the graphics and everything of VML, absolutely putting myself down in terms of the amount of free time that I normally get in terms of the racing. But in terms of the racing out on track, we should be going very, very shortly indeed. Hopefully, everyone is going to enjoy themselves out on track. Let's hope it is going to be good. 5 red lights are about to go out then. Vote Console Tier 1, round number 4 of the championship here in Jeddah. And it is lights out and away we go, and Paul gets a very good start. Ryan, though, is stronger off the line. He gets down in towards turn 1, and actually it's 3 wide in towards turn 1. In behind goes Oscar, Namsko, and Paul, all side by side. Pretty much 3 abreast. How on earth they made it through there without contact, I do not know. Paul now getting absolutely put down by Mustache. Mustache now on the outside line. Gets Loonies into 4th. Matthias then Danny Van Routen is side by side. Matthias might lose position here to Fraser. There he goes on the outside line. There's contact further down the field. Oxley's in the wall. Coming through turn number 4. Might have been contact on the GT10 Hugo, if I'm not mistaken, right down to the bottom end of the field. But Ryan there leads the way through the first sector. Oscar there in second. Namsko there in third. The Frenchman trying to follow in tow as well. The side by side though between Fraser and Matthias once again. The ex-CPI teammates now going side by side through the left-hander at turn 13. Dropping down the field is FRT Dan. He's got an issue potentially out on track as Fraser and Matthias is still absolutely hung, drawn and quartered in towards 10, 14 and 15. Trying to get the move done. Fraser now gets the switch back. Watch out for Spicer in beyond as well. We'll take on board this battle with Spicer. The green alien looking car for NLR now running on the back of Fraser and Matthias down in towards turns 22 and 23, but Fraser has got ahead. Fraser remains in P7. Matthias down to P8. Spicer there in P9, and Wiener there in P10, trying to fend off the offences of FRT Sam. Ryan though out on top, Oscar there in second, Namsko there in third. Really close indeed. Danny Van Routen and Paul as well as Mike bursts into life there in the background. Sam and Wiener are side by side as well. Coming through the final corner. Could be 4 abreast running down the straight. Please no. Please no. Please behave yourselves. Here comes Sam. Maybe to try and get a trifecta running down in towards turn 1. Everyone's surely got to behave themselves. Sam is way too late on the brakes. Goodness me. How on earth he hasn't made contact, I do not know. Getting literally foresight to the wall. He's on that set of soft compound tyres. Still side by side with Spicer, and Spicer spies the gap around the outside, gets the job done. Mike, goodness me, how on earth are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm not gonna lie, that was very close to turn number 1 there with Spicer, Sam, and just that entire sequence. And it was 3 wide in turn 1 at one point, and how they managed to make it through there without anyone losing a front wing, I will never know. But I do have a little bit of a thing I learned now from doing tier 2 moments ago. The overcut seems to work a lot better around here as Sam gets a fantastic run on Spicer here out of the chicane, and it should be job done here for Sam, and it is going to be job done, but Finn Bob also going to try and get through on him.
He is. He got the move done on Matthias, and now he gets the move done on Spicer. Coming through turn 22. Nice move there by Finn Bob. He's on that set of soft compound tyre, trying to make hay of those tyres while they're last. Duncan now around the outside line. Hopefully not going to be like Dunkin' Donuts. No way. Is he going to go 4 and 1? Nearly around the outside. Goodness me. Sam was cutting him off there at the pass. Now through the right-hander of turn the left-hander of turn 27. Duncan there ended up nearly doing a Duncan donut in towards turn number 1. Ryan leads the way. Oscar there in second, pressurising the leader out in front. Also side by side further down the field, Finbob spies to Sam. This mid-pack battle is absolutely insane. There goes Jordan 3 wide to turn 1. Never going to work, and the CPI makes contact with the side of Sam and also makes contact with Duncan on rejoining track.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the midfield really active.
Come on.
I think right. You back.
Hello, am I back? Can you all hear me? Can Mike hear me? That's important. Hang on, I'm gonna do something. Hang on. What on earth? Where is he? Right, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Is everything good on your end?
Everything is good on my end. My OBS just disconnected, my Wi-Fi off my laptop disconnected as well, but we are all fine and dandy now. Hopefully everything is all good on the stream. Ryan leads the way, Oscar second, Danny Van Ruiten in third. What did the people, the good old fellows tuned into the chat, tune in with, and what did we miss in the literally the half a lap we were missing?
Danny Van Ruiten making the overtake on Namsco in towards turn number 1. Job done for him up into P3. He went. The midfield battle, as you can imagine, spicy as ever. As you got Sam Spicer, Finn Bob, all battling it out right there with the likes of Jordan and Mateus as well, him behind. So it is that's what we've missed so far. But looking up now, Oscar with DRS closing in on Ryan, but not looking for the overtake as of yet, as Danny Van Ruiten now closing up to the back, and we could be seeing a double overtake here into turn number 1, James.
And I did say, watch out for Danny Van Ruiten. He's from 7th on the grid, up to 3rd already. Now on to lap 5 we go. Not going to get the move done here, and also going to recharge the battery, I think, through the first sector, as that mid-pack battle I could just see in the background is going to get absolutely spicy once again. Finn Bob and Spider are side by side, Jordan and Sam side by side, and in the end they actually don't go for any moves on each other, which is very, very fair indeed, especially after the laps that we had right at the beginning of the race. Hopefully everything is okay. Apparently the sound is out. That is probably on a fiction of me dropping my connection. Give me a second. I'm just going to go into properties and fix that right about now. Hopefully that'll be all okay. Ryan out on top, Oscar there in second, Danny Van Ruiten there in third. Position gains early on, by the way. Danny Van Ruiten 4 gain, Boyaludo further down the field 4 gain. Most positions lost, however. That man in the pit lane, after Alex Marciano dropping 5, and ET8 Hall second on the grid. Is that a diabolical start? Down in 6th.
Yeah, I mean, Paul on the set of the hard compound tyres, it's not going well for him so far, but he will have the opportunity of being on the mediums later on in the race, which might prove beneficial for him. Sam on the set of the soft tyres. Now, I saw earlier that the soft tyres really started to fall away after around 5 laps, and of course, these drivers are going to be putting more pressure on these tyres than those from console tier 2 moments ago, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see how Sam's going to come back with these soft compound tyres, James.
Definitely so. Oscar now retaking the race lead off the back of Ryan in toward the final corner as well. It's Ryan going to look for the inside of turn number 1. Ooh, has a half think and actually makes a little bit of contact there with the back end there of the Norwegian down in towards turn 1. Finn Bob, speaking of which, is through on Spicer further down the field as well into P9. Spicer there down in P10, and Taicho on that to the hard is going side by side with Zach Oxstairs there for BRT, and BRT man looking to try and get the corner first. Thinks about it, doesn't go for the move, and I don't blame him because he ended up out of qualifying round for that the left-hand return number 4. Hopefully everything is okay though with the stream and with the sound. Judging by what has been said about the sound, it's the whole stream, not just in-game. Okay, that might be of a fiction of me restarting OBS or my connection kicking back in, and everything is at the minute as well. But Oscar leading the way, Ryan in second, Danny Van Ruiten in third. I will let Mike take over while I try and fix a few things on my end.
Yep, so I am on board with Danny Van Ruiten right now as he is trying to close up to the back of Ryan in this race. You're seeing the top 6 really beginning to bunch up with DRS as Mustache gets close to the back of Namsuckle, and of course Paul on those hard compound tyres also closing in as well. And at what point are the hards going to become the better tyre, as Ryan around the outside end of the final corner is going to make that move, stick on Oscar. Good overtake there from Ryan, and here comes Danny Van Routen now. Guess who on Oscar, and may have a look at Ryan down the inside into turn number 1. Danny Van Routen down the inside, job done for Danny Van Routen into the race lead. And what a start this man has had so far, James.
Yeah, brilliant start by Danny Van Routen. Goes there to the lead of the race. Ryan there in second, Oscar there in third. Hopefully everything's okay now with the stream. Hopefully everything is not glitching out with the sound and everything. But Danny Van Routen now trying to route the field in terms of the early stages of this race. He is lap 7 out of 25. 4/10 clear of Ryan. The gap, remember though, just a couple of laps ago was about 7/10 of a second, and we were thinking that Danny Van Routen was going to try and jump, I think it was Mustache, if I'm not mistaken, and P4 in that battle. Finn Bob now going with Spicer as well, also trying to go side by side as well. Coming out through the right-hander now, turn number 14 and 15. Danny Van Routen though, Ryan and Oscar the top 3. Really now, all of this has come into an 8-car battle. Fraser, Wiener, Paul, Mustache, all getting on the back of this crew. And that's because Danny Van Routen, Ryan and Oscar couldn't shake off the attentions of the guys further earlier on in the race. So really going to be interesting to see how this race has panned out. Look at that for a camera angle, by the way. Red Sea on the right-hand side, into the final corner. There goes Ryan for the race lead as well as we come back on board. Nice move by the German, back into the race lead.
Yeah, fantastic there from Ryan. And I wanna pose this question to you, James. Obviously, after seeing what happened in Tier 2 earlier, with the overcut being powerful, do you think that obviously the drivers and the engineers would have been looking at the Tier 2 as a small bit of a reference on when would be the most ideal moment to make a pit stop?
Judging by the guys that are in the pit lane, probably not. Taicho, Spider, Matthias and Sam are all into the pit lane. Looks like they're going to go on a variety of different tyres, mediums and hards. Medium compound tyres I've got lasting around about 9 or 10 laps around here. So I'd be very interested to see if my theory is proved right in terms of the mediums. So far, with Spicer going on a set of hards, there was a yellow flag, by the way, and that is VSC out on track, and it's actually a safe. Is it a safety car or is that just a yellow car?
No, sorry, that's Sam.
It's Sam.
It's Sam coming out of the pit lane.
That's the difficulty of a banana car coming out of the pit lane when you think it's a yellow dot, thinking it's a safety car. Sam is out of the pit lane. Not sure who that was for, actually, judging by that. Was it for GT10 Hugo? It was, no front wing.
Yeah, I think, it was definitely, Hugo, unfortunately, no front wing for him. But, confusion there for us in the commentary box as we saw the yellow car of Sam coming out of the pit lane, imitating a safety car, shall we say.
Yeah, definitely imitating the safety car is the best thing. Are they going to get a free pit stop, though, these front runners? Because they're now coming in the pit lane. I think the VSC is going to end very soon indeed. They are going to lose out potentially on a pit stop here. If they're not careful, Paul's opted to stay out, which I do not blame him at all for doing. I think that's the right call. If the VSC comes now out and everything now goes back into green flag racing, everyone coming in the pit lane, which it has literally done, it hasn't lost them that much time, but it's losing those that are just pitting in a lot of time. Boy Ludo, Finn Bob, Zach Oxes, Hugo included. They are going to lose a hell of a lot of time later on in the race compared to the guys who are already on those set of hards, Matthias, Taicho, and the likes of Spicer.
Yeah, and I did see someone getting held up in the pit lane freeze, and I think it might have been Wiener that got held up because, or maybe even Mustache, because it definitely someone did get held up double stacking in the front pack, and I think Wiener's lost a decent amount of time here.
Judging by, is it Jordan by any chance? Was Jordan in the front pack? I think he was, and I think he's lost time.
I am going to have a quick look at the stream back real quick.
Haven't been. Definitely one of the CPI cars was in that front 8. It might have been 2 of them.
It was Fraser. Fraser was in the front 8.
Oh, well, Fraser's there in 6, so he's actually gained positions. Yeah, very strange. It was Mustache that was held, apparently.
Yeah, Mustache, and I think Wino also got held as well.
Oh, yeah, look at the gap. 3.6 seconds behind Fraser now, where it should have been, what, a couple of tenths? Definitely been held up.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a double stack there.
Yeah, definitely a double stack indeed. Lap 10 out of 25, by the way. Pretty much all the pit stops have already happened. Taicho might have to come back in the pit lane along with Dan, as Boy Lilo gets overtaken by Jordan. But this is... could you call it technically net lead of the race? Even though Danny Van Routen has just gone off like a shot by 2 seconds out on track. Danny Van Routen and behind. Paul's still yet to come in the pit lane, obviously. But Danny Van Routen there in second. 12.2 seconds in behind. Pit stop loss around this track is about 20 seconds. So Paul, if he decides to come out, to come into the pit lane very soon, which he won't because he's on that set of hards, he will try and do what your theory is, Mike, and that's the overcut and trying to get everyone later on in the race.
Yeah, I think the issue with that though for Paul is, of course, the VSC has definitely helped out the rest of the field somewhat. So I don't think it's going to be as effective the overcut as it probably would have been later in the race. As Sam is out
VSC.
And virtual safety car again.
Another VSC out of track. This time, it is the fake-looking safety car that is actually out of the race. It is Sam, unfortunately, that is out of the race for FRT. Doesn't deserve that at all. FRT have had a really bad start, I'm going to be honest, to this race as well. Dan down in 17th. They'll be looking and trying to hope on those, I don't know where I was going with it. However, Paul is into the pit lane. This is his free pit stop, and he is going to come out. As I say, pit stop loss around here is about 20 seconds. Add on to this another VSC. I think he's going to come out where Fraser Mustache is, personally.
Yeah, potentially, as he comes into his pit box right now, and he's got the pit box right at the end of the pit lane. So not a long run to get himself out of the pit lane and back out on track. So we're going to see where he's going to come out. I think he's going to come out P4.
Behind Oscar, so actually a little further ahead of where I said he would be. I thought he was going to go between Fraser and Mustache, but he's in that pack. My concern, though, is, Mike, the medium compounder tyres. They are not going to last, for me, 14 laps out on track. I think they're going to be shot by, what, 9 or 10 laps into their stint? So Paul has got to act on this. He has got to be very quick on the set of mediums right now. The Spicer has picked up a drive-through. And in fact, we actually haven't got a couple of drive-throughs. We have Finn Bob has picked up a drive-through penalty as well. Here comes Paul on the outside line of Oscar, however. Going around the outside of turn 13. Medium compounder tyres so much quicker than the hards right now. Paul tries to go around the outside of turn 13. Still on the inside for 14 and 15. Backs off, doesn't want to go for the move. The Norwegian stays ahead.
Yeah, and I think that is all down to the fact that Paul just haven't got the medium tyres switched on as of yet. And the hards are a little bit more switched on at the moment, but that will quickly change, that is for sure, as Oscar is getting onto the back of Ryan now, and he's going to try and put a car in between himself and Paul ASAP.
And now Paul is on the hunt, on the back of Oscar, on the back of his fellow countryman Ryan, who's on the front row of the grid with him. 3 wide into the final corner. Oh, I thought Paul was going to go around the outside there, be a little bit cheeky, but he's got to follow through on Oscar, down in through turn 27. Danny Van Renton still holds a 2-second lead, by the way, out in front onto lap 11. Now we are going to get 3 wide down the straight. Is Paul going to part the Red Sea like Moses to the inside line, in towards turn 1? Yes, he does. He is through and he's into second. Really neat move there by the E-Tape man. Finn Bob into the pit lane to serve his drive-through. Spicer should be into the pit lane as well to serve his drive-through. Everyone else that you saw has got 3 seconds worth of penalties. That is Hugo and Taicho still going on out on track with penalties. Danny Van Mouten though leading the way, nearly halfway through here in Jeddah. Paul there in second, Ryan there in third. But this is perfect now, surely for Paul, on this set of medium compounder tyres. A threat potentially of those tyres not lasting to the end. Dirk saying in the chat, Rotterdam did 18 laps in competitive speed championship. So Paul will definitely be hoping that these mediums can last. If he's got aggressive, if he's got an aggressive strategy though, and wants to absolutely pound those tyres into the tarmac and try and hunt down Danny Van Mouten, that will come at a cost later on in the race with his tyres.
It'll come at a cost, but honestly, yeah, I think
Spicer.
Spicer having a bit of a moment there. One thing as well, I mean, it was brought up in the chat as well. Letting Paul go to catch Danny, obviously with DRS as well being so powerful around you, it's going to allow the likes of Ryan and Oscar and Namsko to hold on to the back of Paul for the time being. And they are going to be able to drag themselves back within DS range of Danny Van Routen, who's currently 1.5 seconds up ahead.
Yep, totally agree. And Hugo's out of the race as well. And is that a safety car? It is. Safety car. Not Dan coming in the pit lane for FRT. It is now a full safety car out on track. I think you only get 2 VSC deployments in this game, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 3 at max. But everyone's into the pit lane. Oxtears, Boyle, Duncan, Matthias all into the pit lane. They're gonna gain big time because half the field have already came past the pit lane. The top 9 or the top 10 even are still out there out on track. But that safety car now throws the race a complete different complexion. Danny Van Routen leading the way, Paul in second, Ryan in third. They've all got to go around on the lap. Luckily, they haven't been caught behind the safety car. Oxtears, Boyle, Matthias, though, their lucky day, they could gain big time in terms of position gains underneath this safety car.
Maybe we will have to see, though. Everyone now having to stick to a delta, so I'm not sure how much they're going to gain in terms of time out on track, but this is going to be interesting now, because obviously we've recently just had the pit stop phase, and it's going to be interesting. Do you think everyone's going to be in for a set of the mediums? Obviously, we've seen P11 down come into the pit lane, and do you think we're going to see the top 10 into the pits?
I think you've got to, personally. Paul, I would say, stay out. I think the likes of Oxtears, maybe even Taicho, for example, he could stay out. Everyone, I think, in the pit lane should, on the set of hard compound tires, I think should come in for the mediums. If Rydal is proven, and that can make, 18 laps in terms of the medium compound tires, it is going to be hard. But Danny Van Routen says, you know what, I'm going to ignore what these commentators are saying. I'm not even pitting in. There is a pit stop, though, coming from Namsko, who has thought he had damage coming in the pit lane, but he doesn't. Namsko is into the pit lane. T-Rex Sawyer won the go ball. They're going to come out ahead of Zach Oxtears very, very cleanly indeed, I think, here. But Namsko was into the pit lane, and he is on the set of mediums, and he's going to out the pit lane. I thought he had damage there, but he hasn't. And also in is Jordan on a set of mediums.
Yeah, and good call to go into the set of mediums and not do what we saw earlier from the OVR drivers in Tier 2 and go into a set of softs and try to get 10 laps out of them, because they fell off after 6 laps. They were unable to really close down the gap in the end, and they fell away quite considerably at the end of the race.
Yeah, and that's my fear, I think, of those mediums towards the end of the race. They are going to be shot towards the end. No absolute shadow of a doubt about it. It is going to be really intriguing, though, to see how the drivers cope with this and how they are going to cope, really, with how these tyres are going to transpire to later on in the race. Roll call now, though. Danny Van Routen out on top. E8 Paul there in second. NLR Ryan in third, with Shazoo Oscar in fourth. Fraser there in fifth, Mustache in sixth, Wiener in seventh, Taicho in eighth, Namsko and Zach Oxtears the top 10. Then it's Jordan even in 11th, Boy Lilo in 12th, Matthias Duncan there 13th, 14th, Dan in 15th, Finn Bob 16th, Alex Marciano, ex-NLR man, currently outscoring Spicer, who is a current NLR driver. They're down at 18th position. Hugo and Sam, of course, out of the race, DNFing. Hugo causing the safety car, and Sam, of course, out of the race and causing one of the VSCs out on track as well. Myself, James Head, and Mr. Michael Edwards alongside me in the commentary box. Danny Van Routen though out on top. Paul there in second. I'm immediately looking to these fresh runners on these set of mediums. Namsko, Zach Oxtears, Jordan are going to be hoping these hard runners are very slow off the line, and then they can try and pick up on positions, maybe down in towards the likes of the middle sector.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to be seeing the likes of Namsko and Jordan Boyolulu. Is that VK Zoes in 10th place? I'm struggling to see my eyes are stinging at the moment.
Zach Oxtears, I think that is.
Zach Oxtears, okay. Yeah, Zach. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys are going to be able to get these tyres switched on immediately on the restart, and we're going to see if they're going to be able to make progress up the grid ASAP.
Yeah, Flopman actually making a very good point there in the chat. The former F7R man, still hasn't changed his YouTube name, mediums will drop off before the end of the race. I think so. I think they will drop off on the centre mediums. Remember PSGL PSF1 in that race, and I think we had some interruption within the race, and everyone went in the centre mediums. They were gone by 10, 11 laps in that race, and they were fighting very aggressively in that race as well. Jeddah was a very strong race, by the way, in that race as well. We have got a couple of drivers, obviously, that participated in that race. Danny Van Ryten, for example, Ryan, Oscar. Maybe a consistent theme going on here with the top 4 right now. But everyone has got to be absolutely on the ball. In terms of the wear on the set of mediums, the mediums will go off at about 5, maybe even 6% a lap. If that's the case, I'm making calculations for Taicho not getting to the end of the race without forfeiting his tyres. Paul potentially as well. Everyone else, though, Namsko, Zach Oxes, Jordan, everyone else pretty much in the bottom half of the field are fine. It's just Taicho and Paul I'm a little bit concerned about.
Yeah, Taicho, 7 laps on those mediums so far. Okay, a couple are in the safety car, so more like 6 laps have been put on him thus far. But yeah, Taicho is going to be want to keep an eye on late in this race just to see how those tyres drop off and see exactly when we can expect a drop off for the rest of the medium runners.
Yeah, don't mention it could be about 3 or 4%. My calculations that I did, and I'm a very aggressive driver, is about 5 or 6%. So that's where it probably comes from on my end. Danny Van Ryten, though, is the virtual Bert Malander. He's now the virtual safety car. He can dictate the pace to however he wants. Team Shazoo are in a good position right now, 1st and 4th out on track. Each 8th there, a 2nd, and further down the field, of course, with that other driver, Alex Marciano, down in 17th. But Paul, right on the back of Danny Van Ryten, tucked underneath the rear wing. When is Danny going to decide to go? Now he goes. Now in towards turn 1. We're back under green flag racing. It's called Port a little bit napping, and now it's also called Taicho a little bit napping as well. Fraser side by side on the background as well with Oscar down in towards turn 1. Tries to get to the corner first, has a snap of oversteer coming through turn 1. Still side by side with Oscar. Tries to get the move done through turn number 2. There's contact further down the field. Wiener has been spun further down the field. Not sure he got caught up with, but Wiener is down at the bottom end of the field. TTR again having a race potentially ruined like they did in Monza. Danny Van Ryten though leading the way. Paul there in 2nd, and the gap is already growing to Ryan there in 3rd. Those mediums are working good.
Yeah, mediums working absolutely fantastic for Paul right now as Taicho under pressure.
Oh my god! What a move that is!
What a run! Oh, Mustache almost losing his car as well as Mustache getting overtaken again. Yeah, words are not formulating in my mouth right now.
Taicho, my goodness me! Juventus racing driver back in the day, this kid was, and now he's a part of EVE, and he pulls off a move like that into turn 13? Absolute ridiculous move by Taicho, through and he's into 6th. Zach Oxes is on the hunt though, on for this P6, in towards turn 27, and here comes the threat on the back of the Dutchman. Paul goes for the race lead, Danny Van Ryten to the inside line, gets the job done. Zach Oxes now tries to get the up and under on the back of Taicho, can't get the move done. Taicho there in 6th, Zach Oxes there in 7th. Jacku in the chat saying big ball Taicho. I totally agree with that. We're past the watershed as well, so we can say that. Zach Oxes on the back of Taicho, not going to go for the move. Mustache and Jordan, however, are. Namsko and Zach Oxes are now side by side as well, just in front of this. Mustache is not finding those hards well. Mediums are coming into play. Namsko can't find the way through on the Brit.
No, Namsko can't get through as of yet, but he is putting the Brit under pressure. Taicho though, after his incredible lunge down the inside, he is getting very close to the back of Oscar here for P5.
He is indeed, and Oscar on that set of hard, remember, hard maybe not necessarily going as good as what they would in this early stage of this second half of the race, and Oscar there now trying to fend off, potentially the back of Taicho, clips the right-hand side wall, now gets Taicho right on the back of him, in towards turns 22 and 23. The top 2, however, like Dirk says in the chat, are gone. Paul there leading the way. Danny Van Ryten in 2nd, 3/10 of a second. Ryan is looking slow in race trim. Compared to his qualifying lap and going a 10th clear and pretty much everyone else in the field, Duncan picking up a 3-second penalty further down. Ryan is slow, and Fraser's going to prove that to the inside line. into turn 27. Ryan as well under pressure from Oscar. Oscar now to the inside line for Team Jazoo. This is a beautiful move from Oscar. If he could get the move done, trying to get this move stick. Now to the final corner, turn 27. Ryan, though, has the overspeed, has a bit of DRS, has a little bit of slipstream as well from the car in front. Gets back alongside. Oscar now under pressure from Taicho. Big balls Taicho again around the outside of turn number 1 this time. Now through turn number 2. Passing the Moss there on the left-hand side. And Taicho gets the move done on the back of Oscar. Mediums are working like an absolute treat. We do not know what we're talking about in the comments box here.
I mean, Taicho proving that he's got a fair bit of life in those tyres, and I mean, he was mentioning in chat earlier how the mediums will hang on.
Here he goes again.
Yep, here he goes again, having a look at Ryan. One thing I did see before, one strategy I did see, I believe it was in PSGL F4, was a medium soft strategy, which obviously no one's going to go for here, but the mediums definitely did last long enough to go onto a set of softs, so definitely I think mediums should be okay to go at the end for everyone that did make the pit stop, but for Taicho, I mean, it's still going to be a little bit borderline, I think.
Taicho and Oscar nearly getting a little bit of contact there through turn 21, now in towards 22 and 3 once again. Oscar there on the back of Taicho. This is going to get dicey. Danny Van Mouten gets dicey for the race lead as well. Going to the race lead. Lap 18 out of 25. Paul there in second, Fraser third. But look at the cars in behind. Taicho, Oscar, Zach Oxford, Jordan, Namsko, all side by side coming out the corner. 2 by 2 like Noah's Ark. Just got to get the animals in there right now. In towards turn number 1. Who is going to be animalistic? Down in towards turn number 1. Ryan Fraser, Taicho hold positions. Namsko to the inside line. Oxford to the inside line. 3 wide into turn 1 is never going to work. We saw this on lap 1. Are we seeing this again through turn number 3? Yes, we are. Namsko, how on earth he's pulled that one off, and how on earth there's no contact there, I do not know. And Oscar is the one that's been bullied out of position. Matthias is out of the race, and that's a VSC.
Oh, it gives us a little bit of time to breathe now, James. The virtual safety car has put a little bit of a pause to the action, and we'll be gearing up to go again in just a moment's time. But my God, the action right there.
Safety car. Look at the yellow dot. That is not Dan. It's a safety car.
Full course safety car here, lap 19 of 25. And here's the question now, James. Do you come into the pits and put on a set of softs?
Oh, do you? With how tight everyone is, I don't think so. I think it'll actually be worthless coming into the pit lane, going on a set of soft compound tyres, getting double stacks. Mustache, Wiener, for example, potentially a double stack. Wiener obviously down in P17 now, but double stacks could come throughout the mid-pack of the field. If some of their teammates are out, obviously they can go for that single stop, go in for that set of soft compound tyre. It still says run the VSC. There is a yellow dot there through the first sector. It is a safety car, just to confirm. Are we going to see, though, the front runners come in the pit lane? Danny Van Mouten, no. Jukes Paul. I thought he was going to juke him there back into the pit lane. Ryan there, Fraser, all here. All not coming in. Everyone's not coming in, bar a couple. Finbob and Dan. And also Duncan into the pit lane, along with Alex Marciano. So 2 Xbox guys, 2 PlayStation guys into the pit lane. No double stacks, I think, from all of them, which is good. And they are all into the pit lane. However, somebody is being double stacked, are they? Was it Alex Marciano?
No.
It was Alex Marciano. He's down at the back end of the field, is he?
I don't think it was a double stack, though.
Unless I'm seeing things. I might just be seeing things. I don't know. We are under a full call safety car, though, out on track. I don't know why on earth the top left-hand side of your screen has not updated. Danny Van Mouten, though, out on top. Paul there in second. Ryan there in third. I'm immediately looking right now. That man in 5th position. Namsko, the Frenchman. Former Team Mentalism driver. Former PSGL, PSF1 driver back in the day as well. He'll be looking to try and get something out of this race. He's on the fresher mediums compared to Paul, on the fresher tyres compared to those hard runners. They're going to be saving on the tyres as well. I think Namsko's a shoo-in here, either for a potential podium or for even the race win. He has got a really good chance.
Yeah, he's got a fantastic chance, does Namsko. My eyes are also going to be drawn to the guys that have just put on a fresh set of soft compound tyres, because with the few laps we got remaining, I don't think they're going to completely fall off the cliff by the time we get to the checker flag. And for every single lap that the safety car stays out, it's gonna improve the life of these soft runners. And the soft tyres are they are rapid around here.
They are rapid around here indeed, and I have got a little bit of my water left, like literally bottom of the barrel water for the final, 6 laps of this race that we're going to have. We're going to get 2 under the safety car even, and then we're going to get the safety car coming back out of the pit, back into the pit lane, and then we'll get back to green flag racing. Danny Van Rijt's in the well on top, Paul in second, Ryan in third. At this moment in time, who does it benefit more? As Wiener has got a 10-second penalty for ignoring a yellow flag, and that is because I think he was coming in the pit lane. Claire in second, Ryan in third. I hope I'm back. OBS just reconnected once again. Danny Van Rijt in the out on top, Paul in second, Ryan in third. What I was saying there, hopefully Mike can hear me now, is Wiener into the pit lane, picked up that 10-second penalty. He served it in the pit lane, so TTM will not be able to get that removed because he's already served it up.
Yeah, they will not be able to get it removed. And to be fair, I think obviously Wiener pitting on this lap just to make sure that he has that lap fresher soft tyres. And yeah, it's going to be interesting now. The split in the tyres for the field is just going to add to the spice and the drama at the end of this race. Of course, you got some drivers out there on 12-lap old hard compound tyres. You got a few drivers that are, like Paul and Taicho, who are 10+ laps on their mediums. And then you've got the likes of Namsko, Zach, and of course CPI Jordan and Spicer and Boyolulu. All on 8 and 7-lap old mediums respectively. You've got the fresh soft runners at the back of the field. This is just going to be an incredible end towards this race, and safety car is in on this lap, James.
Safety car will indeed be in on this lap. Hopefully you can all hear me okay. I have just turned the bit rate down a little bit, so if that does interfere with the stream, please let me know. Danny Van Rijt's in the well on top, Paul there in second, Ryan there in third. We were about to go under safety. We're not going under safety car conditions. We're going back to green flag racing conditions out on track. Right final ball Paul. Danny Van Rijt goes in towards turn number 27. Now gets his groove on through the final corner. Can Chazoo get their win out on track here tonight? ETA Paul going to be hunting him down all the way. We're back to green flag racing though, and Danny Van Rijt has shot off like a bolt. Paul there in second, Ryan there in third. Everyone behaving themselves now in towards turn number 1. As soon as I say that, Spicer's through on Boy Lilo, and there's also very aggressive battling right down the back of the field. Wiener around the outside of Alex Marciano gets the job done.
Yeah, and you're seeing the soft runners come into play as Finn Bob already gets the move done on Boy Lulu, and almost got the move done on Spicer as well. As those soft tyres are now going to start to come into play, as if he can get a good run out of here. He'll be able to make multiple overtakes, but blocked off by Spicer.
Oxlade has made a huge mistake through the first sector as well. Now Jordan goes all the way around the outside on the Brit as well, and it's now the Swede against the Brit through the left-hand of turn 13. Like Oxlade's there side by side. Finn Bob also BRT coming alive in the late stages of this race. Finn Bob, he's through and he's into 11 ahead of Spicer. Dan and Boy Lilo are side by side, just about getting the move done. Is Dan. Set-us-offs are definitely coming into play. Just whether or not they can make up the ground through the field though is a different thing. Danny Van Rijten leads the way. Paul in second, Ryan there in third. My pick for the race win at the minute, Namsko, down there in P5, holding on to everything right now and hopefully holding on to the back of the front train.
Yep, as it looks like Jordan's going to make the move there on Zach. Up in the P8 goes to CPI man. As it looks like Finn Bob not close enough to make a move on Mustache at this moment in time, but those soft tyres are definitely working well for Dan as he's looking to get the move done on Spicer here out the final corner. Spicer though has the better traction on the exit and is able to hold on to that position.
And there goes Boy Lilo actually on the back of Dan. Dan, as a result, can't get the move done on Spicer and now opens his doors up to the Frenchman, to the inside line. Boy Lilo goes on the back of the Brit. The Brit and the Anton Cordialo comes out on top. P13 there for Dan. Boy Lilo down in P14. Those mediums are actually lasting pretty well indeed compared to where I expected them to go. Danny though leading the way. Paul there in second. Ryan there in third. No VSC or safety cars interruptions to the end of this race. The only thing that might interrupt it is my connection. Hopefully everything is okay, though. Danny Van Rijten leads, 2.5 laps to go. Paul there in second, Ryan there in third. Paul, you'd imagine, though, on the slightly fresher tyres, on the slightly fresher mediums, should be running rings around Danny Van Rijten. But the worst place to be, Mike, on the final lap is P1. You do not want to be in Danny Van Rijten's position right now.
Yeah, and a little bit of a tap on the rear end of Jordan there from Zach, and a 3-second time penalty awarded to Jordan. I think that'll be given a look at after the race by the stewards. As long as Jordan doesn't pick up another warning himself, I think he'll be looking to get that removed. But Finn Bob making swift progress now. He's up in the P9 on those soft tyres.
Oh, and there's also side by side between Oscar and Taicho. These two again. Taicho going for another ridiculous move to the left-hand side. Oh, there's contact and he's round. Taicho and Oscar never going to work through the final corner. Oscar there maybe just going to weigh scot-free for now. Stewards are definitely going to have a look at that one. Really, really strange collision, though. It almost looked like there's 3 wide down the straight. Almost touches side by side. Sideways through turn number 1 is the Frenchman. Not sure what he's trying to do. Qualify for the French Rallycross Series or something with that moustache there. Down in 12. Danny Van Rijten, though, leading the way. Paul second, Ryan in third. Look at Namsko, though. Now those mediums are coming into play. And as soon as I say that, I curse him. He has just gone off the back of the front 4. Namsko runs wide on the left-hand side curve through turn number 8. And Namsko has just been commentator's cursed by Mr. Head here.
Yeah, it's Finn Bob looking to get a good exit here against CPA Jordan as they come through turn 13, but Jordan able to get a fantastic second phase of the traction zone, able to hold on to that position right there. But honestly, I'm looking at the front right now. Ryan getting close to the back of ETA Paul here for P2 in this race.
This is going to come down, I think, to the front 3. Fraser, not even ruled out of this race win either right now. Neither is Namsko. He's got back onto that train. Whether or not he can find anything, that was a different thing. Zach Oxford is further down the field as well. Danny Van Rijten, though, will lead onto the final lap of the race. But remember, because of this nature of the circuit, it is so long, they're all going to concertina up at the first half of this lap. And then they're going to look for the moves, possibly down in towards turn number 1. But Danny Van Rijten leads the way. Paul there in second, Ryan in third. The final 6.1 kilometre length of this circuit. Ryan goes to the outside line, doesn't try the move, tries to fake the move, I think, actually on the back of Paul. Finbold making good ground throughout the field as well. He's up into 7th and is off the back of this train just slightly, so he might come into contention. Finbold for a podium later on, but Danny Van Rijten trying to escape away. 4/10 of a second, finding Paul's weakness coming through this first sector. Ryan there in third. Paul's running wide there in the back end there slightly, but Danny Van Rijten, first place is not the position you want to be. Uses a slight amount of ERS, 92% he's got. Paul on 94, Ryan on 81. This is going to come down to the absolute limit as Paul runs wide through 13, gives Danny Van Rijten a bit of an advantage, but the Shazoo man, even the Dutchman, has got to be absolutely keen to the fact that Paul, Ryan and Fraser are all going to be charging. Oscar charging on the back of Namsko as well. This is not over and done with just yet. Do not tune out, tune in. Danny Van Rijten leads the way into the final sector. Paul is right on the back of him though, 2.5 of a second, and is now going to come like a shot out of a cannon to the outside line, in towards turn 27. Can he find the way through on the race leader? It could be a drag race to the line. It could be like Tom and Jensen and TML all over again. Danny Van Rijten runs deep through the final corner. Paul falls in the wall. They're both in the wall. Ryan in the wall as well. Oh my word, Paul now on the run to the line. ETA get lucky. Namsko could be getting the race winner out of all of it. Paul takes the race win. Namsko there in second. Oscar there in third. That's what came down to at the final lap of the race. Danny Van Rijten in the end, I think, did everything right. Coming out of the corner, Wiener's been disqualified for going the wrong way. Not sure what that was about, the TTM. But right down the back of the field, Danny Van Rijten, in the end, P1 into the final corner, down in P7. The stewards are going to be busy, absolutely trying to fly through all of that.
Yeah, the stewards are definitely going to have a lot to talk about at the end of that, but at the end of the day, I mean, it was Paul that did cross the line to take victory in the end. But I think Namsko will be very pleased with his result. As I think potentially could be looking at a race win here after
Nam-
Stewards.
Namsco could be looking at a race win. And do you know, if that is the case, I'm not going to be biased towards him because I'm one of the stewards here, but Namsco could potentially get this race win after all of that transpiring coming through the final corner. In the end, it was Paul on the outside line, Danny Van Eyck on the inside line. We'll get to the podium. It's gone black screen. I can't get the podium results up as per usual, but I will tell you them very, very soon indeed. But what I was going to say, Danny Van Routen there on the inside line, it looked like it went a little bit too deep on the corner. Paul tried to go around the outside, but I think the contact's been made by Paul. Danny Van Routen taking an initial really good line coming through the final corner. That slight bit of contact, that slight bit of momentum that Paul had, unfortunately, Danny Van Routen closed the door. Eat8 and Shazoo are going to be arguing until the cats come home whose fault it is. At the end of the day, only the stewards decide who's at fault.
Yeah, absolutely, and we will be seeing what will transpire between the stewards and when it comes to making that decision. But yeah, honestly, not the best way you want the race to end with a little bit of collision like that. But it does continue to add to the spice between the two teams of ET8 and Team Shazoo.
It does indeed. And do you know what? I'll be honest. I think how it would have transpired out the final corner, Eat8 potentially could have got that with Paul. He would have had the drag run to the line with that DRS. He had the better momentum coming out of the corner. Just whether or not Danny Van Routen could have actually defended that down the straight into the line would have been a different thing. But it's for the stewards to decide. I'm sure there'll be reports getting put in. I'm sure there's a lot of frustration right now in the Discord, and I can completely understand about that. But let's hope there's no more frustration going into round 5 of the championship. Next week, 18th of September, we go Dutch for the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. And judging by how Saudi Arabia was right at the end of the race, well, we had a pretty decent race right up until the final corner. Dutch Grand Prix, round 5, it's going to be something different, but hopefully it's going to be something that rewards the drivers and is going to be a bit more tactical.
Yeah, of course, very few overtaking opportunities around Zandvoort as well. To be fair, I only see like the major one at Tarzan being out there for the drivers to really take advantage of. But those banked curves in the first set, in the start, in the first sector, and of course the final corner is going to provide an interesting race if you're going side by side through there, and hopefully it'll be less controversial next week.
Yeah, definitely. So Danny Van Routen and Eat8 are definitely having a bit of a war, I've got to say, within the console tier 1 chat right now. It is kicking off big time. I'm sure we'll sort that out in due course. But what drivers have got to remember, I think, from Jeddah, it's a very tight final corner to try and pull off a move. Paul was on the outside line. He could have deserved a little bit more room. Danny Van Routen could have gave him a little bit more room. But all of this is going to transpire from the POVs that we get through. So all of this will be decided in the steward's room. No point having an argument about whose fault it is and whatever. It's just the knock-on effect that has for the likes of Ryan. Because I think Ryan, even in that, picked up damage. And I think also there was another driver that picked up damage as a result. So all of that has got to transpire from the incident that occurred between DVR and indeed ET8 Paul. All of that will be taken into one incident, and all of that will be collated into one incident because it was through the final corner. So it's not worth putting in 5 reports for the same incident.
Yeah, and I'm actually gonna have a quick look back, and because I kind of want to have another look at it, because from what I remember, Paul did go deep into the final corner, got the car straightened up quicker, and I think. I'm not sure. I'm having a look to see if the gap was there or whether it got close off, and I think it was a bit of a Constantino effect, to be fair.
It was a bit of a Constantino effect, and judging by how they approached the final corner, I'm not surprised that it was a Constantino effect, but I could go on about this incident for the rest of the night. But I think, judging by how our voices are right now, I think we should probably go off and head off, I think, to bed, because that was a very interesting end to the race there in Jeddah. We go, of course, Dutch for the Dutch Grand Prix for round number 5. And then I think drivers will be just hoping that they can get to the break week without knocking 10 bells out of each other, because Zandvoort is going to be something different. We think it's going to be a little bit more tactical. I certainly think it's going to be a little bit more tactical in terms of the battles, in terms of the DRS training around there as well. And then going into the break week, everything gets refreshed, and then we go back to the second half of the season. So, Dutch Grand Prix next week should be an interesting one. Danny Van Ruiten, by the way, has just put in his POV, which I'm not going to get up on the stream, but if... Oh, I can't play it. He's put in an image with a play button right in the middle. Thanks, DVR. Thanks.
Well, I mean, hopefully we do get the footage in so we can review it tidy. But yeah, I think I agree with you after doing let's go back to back with tier 2 and tier 1. I think my voice is completely gone as well.
Yeah, definitely. So I've just literally put in the stewards are going to decide the outcome of this race, whether you like it or not. So you can argue until the cats come home. The stewards get to decide everything, though, right at the end. And I'm sure they're going to be very busy. Very, very busy with both incidents going forward as well. But we'll deal with that all off stream. Thank you so much for tuning in, by the way. If you did enjoy that, like, comment, subscribe. Tick that notification bell if you're brand new to the channel. Apologies about the OBS crashing twice and my laptop seemingly disconnecting from the Wi-Fi, even though I'm right above it, which is really strange. But hope you enjoyed the race. We are going to see you in 2 weeks' time. No, we're not. We're seeing you in a week's time. Even Console Tier 2, Console Tier 1, 7 PM, 8 PM UK time next week around Zandvoort. Should be back on Twitch, I think, Console Tier 2 next week. And then, of course, Console Tier 1 will be at the home of League Racing TV as per usual. Myself and Mike are going to get a bit of a rest now. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.